them into engineering. So that's second thing. Engineering and society adapt to each other. We may not know that, unknowingly we do it. Before internet came, how many people thought that I wanted to send a letter to somebody and I should reply in few minutes? Nobody thought about it. But then internet came and then people started using it, and now they are so used to it that if you don't use the internet, they feel uncomfortable. So engineering and society actually have a tendency to adapt to each other. Right? That's what actually happened. And in the last 100 years, the technology emerged at an unprecedented rate. Right? That is something that we should keep in mind, because when we talk about future, this unprecedented growth we should be understanding so that we can really plan for the future. And technology lifetime is reducing over time. So earlier systems used to last some 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 50 years. Today, if it, particularly in computer science and IT, the lifetime is only about 5 years. After 5 years, things become completely obsolete. That's what's going to happen. What is the impact of that on education? Tremendous. Why? Because whatever we are going to teach in curriculum, in 5 years if that thing is going to become obsolete, on lighter side, when you give a degree to somebody of computer science, you should give an obsolescence certificate to him. That whatever you have taught you, you are obsolete now. The 5 years are over. So what the education should be then, so that the people should not become obsolete, right, as the time really progresses. And extrapolation of technology becomes impossible, at most difficult. Why I am saying that? Just keep yourself 20 years behind. And imagine, could you have imagined the technology which you are having today in 2005? And I am sure 99% time you would say. We never imagined the world will be like this in 2025. It happened. So the prediction of technology is extremely difficult. And when the prediction of technology is difficult, then how are you going to prepare somebody for the future? Because anybody's lifetime, career lifetime is at least about 30-40 years. So if your prediction for even next 10 years is not going to work, how the 40 years training I can give to somebody? And that's what the biggest challenge essentially one is going to face about. So future engineering will depend upon the future of the world. Because as we said, engineering always addresses the contemporary issues. So if I am preparing for somebody for the future, then I should know what the future world will be, what contemporary issues would be coming. That's what I'm going to do. And future world will be shaped by the engineering today and the technology which is going to come tomorrow. So this problem actually is an entangled problem. The future depends upon the technology and technology depends upon the future. And this problem is something which is a very difficult problem to really envisage and really solve. So what it means is, engineers should become good predictors of the society. What way society is going to evolve in the years to come. They should define their own future. They should define the path for the future, and so on and so on. Right? So they have to create some dreams which are realizable dreams for the society, and society essentially will align with them because they adapt to each other, and then the engineering will start working towards that. One important thing in the process engineers have to play is on the policies of the society. Today, if you really look at it, there are no policy makers who are technologists or engineers. The policies are made by non-engineers or non-technologists. They don't understand much. Engineers, if they start envisioning the future and the society which they are really envisaging in, then they can really prepare the people for the technology which is going to come. That is one. Second thing, when we talk about future, one thing you will know, last 50 years if you look at the growth of engineering, this has happened organically. Nobody defined the path. Nobody said, that's the way I want to design, I want to do. Something happened, it transformed the society. Something happened, it transformed the society. And society keeps on adapting itself. Right? Is that the way with which we are going to go in future? And if we keep on doing it, right, then there are always certain cautions, which you have to keep in mind. Because anything which is happening organically, there are many factors which are not taken into consideration. Like internet is one of the examples. So as Dr. Basu was saying, internet has actually disrupted the societal structure. People don't talk to each other. So they say on the very famous quote that the world is becoming a family and all families are falling apart. That's what is the fact today because of this technology. And this happened because this thing happened organically. Nobody thought I want to design this for society. It just happened and people started adopting to that. So when we look at the future and want to work towards that, first question one can ask is, do we want to do this as a prediction exercise? Or do we want to do this as a path defining exercise? So what the body like B.Tech, which is there in India, they created a document about 5 years back, the technology path in 2045. But that was only a predictive time that if the way things are going today, by 2045 we are going to be there. Right? These things are going to happen. Are they going to be really good for society? That we are not answered. We have simply said that's the way technology is going to take you there. That's what it is. But is that the way we should be moving? We should not be moving because technology is only a tool. Ultimately, it's human-centered. So we should decide what we want, and then technology should really work towards that, what we want. Today what is happening is technology is dictating you what you should be doing. And many things happen because of the business model. Today what happens, the business people, they convince the common man, this is your necessity. And then they sell the product to you. And then they become dependent on that. He never wanted that. But you forced him, you gave him that. Is that the organic way we would be progressing? I think that's the question all technology and engineering educators should be asking about. So what are the desirable things when we talk about tomorrow's society and the impact of technology? And you will see that first thing we should keep in mind is the well-being of the society. Physical well-being, mental well-being. Both should be there. So you should have a prosperity, happiness, health. These things should be there all. And time effluent should be as low as possible. Today we are in a scenario where we are working exactly opposite. Our health is getting deteriorated. We don't have time. The happiness is practically zero. Right? Because everybody is occupied in something else. And we are saying we are getting advanced. Is that the advancement we are talking about? I think a question one should really do. Second thing, in future, there should be more cohesion into the society. Society should become more coherent. It is becoming now more fragmented, more disintegrated. That's the way technology should not be working for. Thirdly, the environment. Over the years, whatever development has taken place has significantly damaged the natural resources. The 100 years of loss, if you really look at the natural resources, fossil fuel, coal, oil, they are practically consumed. So if I give you some data, which is by United Nations, that by end of 21st century, the population of the world is going to increase by 50%. Today we are about, in the world, we are about 7.5 billion people. This population will stabilize by the next 50 years to about 10 or 11, 12 billion people, something like that. That's where, so 50% increase will take place. Energy requirement in the world will increase by 100%, whatever we are having today. The electricity requirement in the world will increase by 300%. The natural resources by the end of this century will be down by 80 to 90%. Understand this? Population will increase by 1.5 times and natural resources are down by 80%. The food requirement will increase by 100% and the water stress population will increase by 200%. That's what is going to happen by the end of this century. And these problems, which are now categorized, what I call the grand challenges, which are by United Nations, you will see all these things are posed there. That can we really create something so that at the end of the century we reach to a destination which will be a perpetual sustainable destination. And that's what is the challenge which we are going to see. So now we started talking about something called green engineering. This green engineering word was never there when I was a student. Why? Because that time when the engineering took place, we took it for granted the resources are practically infinite. Because we never thought we will consume so many resources. But by the time we come today now, we realize that no, that was not correct. the resources were limited, they are limited, and if we wanted to see that our future generation should not be deprived of the privileges which we have, then we have to define our path. So engineering future is not a predictive exercise any longer. It has to be a path defining exercise. You should say, you do this way so that I become sustainable, right, in the years to come. So green technology is something which is going to be focused in the year to come. Question one can ask is, if I look at the today's engineering programs and curriculum, are they addressing these issues? And you will find the answer is no, they are not. They are still working into the traditional way. There are many new ideas, technology ideas are coming, but sustainability still is not getting integrated into engineering. Sustainable people talk, some other people who talk about sustainability. Right? So that is something which should be there. There are certain predictions which are made by IICT, what kind of skills which will be required by engineers in the years to come, that you will find. Everybody will say, you require cognitive skills, you require some programming skills, these, that, communication skills, all those things we keep talking about all the time in engineering. And with that, there are technologies also which have come, 25 technologies which are protected by TIFAC in the years to come. There could be IoT, artificial intelligence, and so on and so on. We all are very aware of that. That's what we can keep on working on. Point one again is that by doing all these changes which are again happening organically, are we going to create a society which we desire to have, and not something which is going to happen automatically by default, right, as the time is going to progress. So, when we look at the society and the engineer is going to solve the societal problems, engineers are always good in solving problems. You give them the problem, they will solve the problem. In fact, there is a very interesting thing for engineers. If you go to the sciences, many times they ask the question, is the solution exist? The engineer never asks this question, does the solution exist? But the solution has to exist. This is the problem which is there in society. You have to work towards it and make sure that the solution exists. And because society has to get benefited by it. So, when we talk about the future engineering and when we talk about the problem definition, who defines the problem? Problems are not defined by engineers. Problems are defined by non-engineers who are in society. There is a food problem there. Engineer doesn't know food problem there. Somebody will tell me, I want food for so many people. Now you do this. Problem posing has to be done by non-engineers because they understand the society much better than we do. So liberal arts, which is always undermined in our engineering curriculum, that should be strengthened. We teach well these courses to students. Are we making tomorrow's students or today's students aware of society? The answer is no. At most, we make them aware of only financial aspect of it. If we create a product, we will sell, we will make a profit. So we train the engineer essentially from industry point of view. We don't train the engineer from societal point of view. And if we create engineer from societal point of view, then the sustainability, all the natural resources, they automatically will get integrated into your education. At the moment, that part is missing. So liberal art should start playing an important role into engineering curriculum. That's what my feeling is. We should not think the liberal arts is a burden. Actually, liberal art is the core. Engineer is only a supplier to meet the requirement what the liberal art people are predicting. And we should work in hand to hand together, essentially to create a curriculum, a program, which ultimately will bring the society, to the desirable flavor what we are really looking for. So for tomorrow when we talk about engineering education, essentially our motto should be this. IEEE motto. I really love that motto. This motto says advancing technology for humanity. It doesn't say for development. It doesn't say for business. It says advancing technology for humanity. But I want to add one more word to it. I want to say advancing technology for sustainable humanity. Not only at this point of time. Can you make whatever we are doing for humanity today, can it perpetually happening in the years to come, so that next generations are not deprived of something? So our engineering education should be the the core of that should be, can I educate somebody, can I train engineer who will create a world-class sustainable humanity? That should be the objective thing for that. So when we design curriculum, you have to involve the stakeholders which are there who are non-engineers and really talk about what kind of curriculum one will be requiring. And they will start telling us something like that. If this was the talk I was giving some 3, 4, 5 years back, I would stop here. Right? Because that's what the desirable thing is, that's what the society wants, that's what engineers can do. So I can really stop there. That's what the future engineering would be. However, in last couple of years, the artificial intelligence has come into the room. There's a new player which has come into in the technology. And now this player is trying to interfere into education. Understand it? So initially when artificial intelligence was there, it was more like a human curiosity. Can I create a system which will think like a brain? How close I can make a system which will start thinking, the cognitive skill which a building thing can have. So more scientific intellectual curiosity which was there for creating artificial intelligence. As the time moved, the artificial intelligence is now working towards replacing you. It is not your tool now. It is trying to emulate something which makes you redundant. Is that the motivation which you started AI with? The answer is no. Again, it is organically happening. In the race of competition that I want to prove I have created a more super thinking machine, essentially I am creating something which is making the human being obsolete. And that's what essentially one has to be concerned about. So when the question is, when the AI tool is given to you, first question I can ask is, can I make use of AI for improvement of engineering education? Is it a possibility? The answer is yes. Is a tool. If you treat it as a tool, yes, you can really make an improvement in your thinking. So what AI can do in our engineering education? First thing AI can do is it can create a personalized learning. So all this online education which came, the effect, essentially the approach there was to create an educational model which is asynchronous in time and space. So you learn from somebody who is the expert in the world. You cannot see physically accessing. You cannot be available at the time when he is available. So you break the synchronicity between the space and time and make the content available to the people. So OCW from MIT came, NPTEL came from India. All these things essentially move towards the personalized learning of people. AI can do much better than that because AI can actually keep monitoring your progress and then keep pace for the way it should be taught. Enhance practical experience through simulation, which AI can really do. Like the simulations have become extremely powerful now, and they can really give you a reasonably good real life kind of feeling there. Automation for monitoring student progress, as I mentioned, AI can really keep track of the way you are understanding and so on. And preparing for future industrial demand. So industry, AI can even predict what the things can happen in the years to come again based on the data which they have, and it can create really curriculum and so on and so on. AI literacy for problem solving, ethical development, right, and the career guidance. That's what AI can also do. Right? So AI, if it treated as a tool, I think it is an extremely powerful tool which we have got, and we can really make good use of it to really personalize the teaching learning process and really advance the quality of education which is in the country. However, for doing this, we require certain changes into our system. Firstly, we require some changes at the institutional level. The AI just cannot be, you say you incorporate AI into your curriculum or make use of as a tool and you can start doing it next day. You will not be able to do that. So becoming the hub for the human-centric skill. AI is going to be information based. AI also works on the data which is already there. It sort of works with the data and try to do extrapolation and tell you something. That's what actually is going to do there. So what the institutions have to do that? Institutions have to more focus on the human skills, which the AI will not be able to do. And what AI cannot do? I cannot have empathy. AI cannot have law, AI cannot have the peace of mind. All those things which are there, which AI cannot do, the institution should start paying more emphasis for those aspects, right? Along with the content which are going to get into the curriculum. Then they will require the integration of the technology and the robust technological base. Because all the AI tools are going to work on robust technology. They will require the high-speed networks, then they will require access to data, and they will require different platforms which are going to be there. And if you do that, then one can dynamically rearrange the curriculum, provided this infrastructure is provided by the organization, by the institution, which require a lot of investment. So the institution, redefine the institution for AI, that needs to be done in the years to come. Right? Otherwise the AI will not be able to use it. Efficient operation of administration. So whatever are the routine jobs which are there, they actually can be done by AI very, very effectively, and people have already started doing it. They are using artificial intelligence for admission of the student, their monitoring, and other things which are going to happen there. Institutions have to now then focus about doing research and innovation, which is AI assisted and AI related research. So, as Dr. Basu said, programmers are not required because AI will write a program for you. But then, using that programming, what thing you would do, what ideas you would like to investigate, what research you want to do. Programming is not research. So one way will be how to really train the AI, that will be AI-based research. Second thing will be making use of AI. How do I make the advanced research in the years to come? And that's where the institution will have to focus on. So the curriculum, or the way, the conventional way we used to teach the courses and conduct the curriculum, that model has to slowly fade away. And will require a completely different model which we still don't understand how the model is going to work. But we have to work towards that model. When we do this and go through AI dominated world, the professors are the ones who are going to face the most of the challenge. Right? Because professors are used to teach or conduct the program in a certain way. They have been doing it for the whole life. Now we are asking them that no, that's not the way the program should be conducted. One of the things which the professor always thought, they are the source of information. They thought they are going to go and teach the class. And that was true maybe 100 years back, because the knowledge always remained with him. Unless he went and explained to somebody, the knowledge and information was not there. Today, knowledge and information is there, pervasive, it's everywhere there. Then what professor is going to do? The professor has to first of all redefine his role now in this scenario which we are going to get. So we are going to get the information deliverer which the professor was. He should now become more facilitated. Knowledge is there, information is there. I will not say knowledge. How would you generate the knowledge from the information? What to think, how to think. That's what would be the responsibility of a professor. Right? What to read? That is already there. So many things are there. When you going to go to Google, you see so many things there. How do you filter it out? What is right, what is wrong? There are many things which are there which are not correct also there. Right? That's what same thing is going to happen in AI also. That when you give something to AI is going to generate something. How do you know what AI generated is correct? Sometimes it may not be correct. And I have tried myself on ChatGPT. I gave some of my technical problems solved by AI. It's solved wrongly. Now, when I get the problem to the student, they ran ChatGPT and submitted it. They thought ChatGPT always does right, which is not correct. So, because it is depending only upon the previous knowledge, previous data which was there. So, what the teacher's biggest challenge would be now that how do we inculcate the higher order thinking among the students? Having the trivial job given to already the AI and this kind of platform which are going to be there. And how to become a mentor for the student, not only academic, even emotional mentor, social mentor, and other thing in which the student normally struggle for. How can you play a role in shaping his life? That's what the primary job of the teacher will come in the time to come. Second challenge which the professor will face in AI will be the pedagogical challenge. And that is, how do we keep pace with the AI? Because AI keep on doing something which students are going to access. How do you pace up yourself and try to mitigate or try to override that what AI is already doing in the domain? If you want to stop AI, AI will not be stopped. It is a tsunami which has come. Right? Only thing you have to make best use of that. How do we do the proper assessment of the knowledge which the students are getting? So today, when the examinations were set or the testing was done, we knew the standard practices, sort of a question paper, evaluated and so on and so on. Today we know that's not going to serve the purpose, because that can be solved by somebody else. The AI may do that. So that means you have to change the way you evaluate people. That is a very, very challenging task. None of the professors also are trained for it. They have to learn themselves. They have to learn the limitations and the possibilities from AI and try to design the mechanism for assessment which will always override all these things and test the knowledge which is there with the student. Preserving the human interaction, working for the AI not to reduce the cognitive ability. Now, if you look at the subjects like not engineering only, subjects which are more liberal arts like arts or literature, earlier that was the prerogative of only human beings. A poem can be written only by human beings. That's what we thought. Today the poems are written by AI. The music is given by AI. The shooting films are made by AI. You can create a scene by using AI. You know, on a street of New York, having a couple wearing such a dress, within 5 minutes I can create a movie. I can do that. If AI can do all that, then what are we going to do? So AI, we should make sure that AI will not reduce your academic capability or your cognitive capability. And it is interesting thing about the human body, any organ which you use less, it becomes practically dead. You take physical thing, I don't move my arm, for 10 days, I will not be able to lift even a glass of water. 100 has become dead. Same thing is going to happen to the brain. Earlier, when you were drafting a letter, you used to draft a letter 10 times. You have to improve it 10 times. Now what you do? You go to ChatGPT, it gives you within no time. But in that process, what happened? Your thinking process, which was there to draft that particular matter in a cohesive manner, that capability is lost in the process. And that's what is going to happen more and more when the AI is going to play a role into this one. So, one important thing we should now make sure is that when AI is going to be inevitable, it is going to be an integral part of the education system. How do we make sure that your cognitive capabilities are not compromised, they are not hampered, they are not destroyed? We should be working towards that. So today we will be working towards technology. We all are very good in building technologies, right? Sophisticated things are going to happen. But the biggest challenge which the whole community is going to face, and I am saying engineering because most of the problems which will be seen in society in the years to come, they will be ultimately solved by engineers. They are the ones who are going to bring the solutions. People will keep posing problems. But technology and engineers are the ones who are going to propose solutions to the problems. So the biggest challenge which we are going to face is how to control AI to remain only as a tool. Let not AI become a superhuman being. AI should remain your tool, right? And you should be in control of the using the tool. It should not start dictating to you. That is something. How to prevent AI from replacing human beings? Some previous jobs which human beings don't want to do, AI does it very good. Let them do that, routine job. But the privileges which the human beings have, that they only should be able to do that. By using AI, can I create Rabindranath Tagore? And if I do, then there's a disaster for the humanity. And we do not do that. I don't want to do that. So the next challenge is going to be there is that we should see that the AI does not become a replacement for human beings. The second thing. Third thing is how to consciously define the boundaries for AI. Once it is a tool, you may say, I will use AI only for this much and beyond that I will not extend AI. Don't even create a platform to give to people that you can do this also. No, you can do that, but you will not be allowed to do that. Somewhere you have to draw the border line, right, so that they start dictating. How to make sure your AI does not destroy creative and cognitive ability? And as I already mentioned, that slowly the cognitive ability of the human mind is getting compromised. It is becoming lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser as the time is moving. So in short, the biggest challenge which we are going to face in our technical education in the years to come is how to preserve the humanness, which is getting slowly compromised as the time is moving. And last 25 years, if you look at this century, you will see our society has compromised on every possible value system. Right? Personal value system, ethical value system, everything has been compromised. Is that the way we want to move in the years to come? Right? So when we talk about engineering innovation today, we cannot talk only about the technology and the advancements in technology. And what can we do? We should say what we should do. Can do, we can do so many things. But we should do only that, what ultimately is going to become human society, a sustainable, patient, enjoyable society. And that's the target essentially we have with us for the future engineering education in the years to come. So thank you very much. Wish you all the best for your conference. Have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening keynote address and for sharing your profound insight with us. As we are inaugurating here our conference today, I'd like to share a note that Professor Basu has just shared with us. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Secretary Sanjay Jaju has remarked that India is set to lead creative economy with AI-driven innovation. The Ministry of INB unveiled an initiative designed to help adopt AI solutions that can help bridge linguistic divides. Now, we have got amongst us Professor Suparna Kaur Chaudhary ma'am, Chairperson IEEE Kolkata Section, and Professor Shushantu Roy, Treasurer IEEE Kolkata Section. So I would like to request our Honorable General Secretary Tarun Bhattacharya sir to kindly felicitate Professor Suparna Kaur Chaudhary ma'am, the Chairperson of IEEE Kolkata Section. Thank you so much, sir and ma'am. Now I would like to request our principal, Professor Sanjay S. Pawar sir, to kindly felicitate Professor Shushantu Roy, the Treasurer of IEEE Kolkata Section. Thank you so much, sir. I will now take the honor of inviting Professor Suparna Kaur Chaudhary ma'am, Chairperson of IEEE Kolkata Section, to deliver a brief address.
Very good afternoon to everyone because it is almost 1 p.m. I'm sorry that I am late. First of all, I will congratulate the organizers for organizing this conference, and it is very heartening to see so many young faces in the room because as a part of IEEE, I attend many conferences, and particularly after the pandemics, there is a tendency of making the conferences hybrid. And if this is a hybrid conferences, then most of the participants try to avoid physical presence and they present their papers online. But actually the requirement of that conferences are organized not only for presenting your papers of the participants, but for the main thing is that it gives a platform for interaction between the research persons working on the same field, interaction with the experts in the same in that field. So that is absent if it is a hybrid conference. And so I think as a faculty of engineering that this interaction is very important for professional growth of any student. So it is heartening to see that the hall is almost full. Now, as I am representing IEEE, so I will, because this conference is technically sponsored by IEEE, so I will say a very few words about IEEE. Now, IEEE is the largest professional body in the world for electrical and electronics engineering. Now, the foundation here is considered to be 1884 when AIEEE, the American Institute of Electrical Engineers, were established in USA. Now that time electricity has been commercialized and telephony was there. So persons from electrical industry and telephone industry formed this organization. Now many persons whom we consider as icons today, like Thomas Alva Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, was associated with formation of this organization. Now at that end of nearly 1896-97, in that period,